Yo, what's going on, everybody? I kind of wanted to make this quick little video because I've been MIA for a few months, kind of a few weeks, but what's kind of been going on with me is just that I've been taking a little break from the internet. I've been kind of telling myself that I want to revamp everything that I'm doing. And yeah, I've been alright though. I know a lot of my friends and people were worried about me, but whatever, I'm around. You know how your boy get down. But I mainly wanted to make this video here to just talk to some people, especially with all the current events going on in the world. And it's a lot of crazy shit. Like every day it's like on the news, you're just hearing like some fucking ridiculous mentally like it's just madness going on right now. So I decided in my head, I was like, you know what, this would be the perfect time to make a short little video just for everybody to know that everything will be okay and how to kind of deal with things. Because I think the biggest problem in society nowadays is people are afraid to talk. And you gotta learn sometimes that it's very important to talk. Like, and check up. Look, just here's an example. You just saw one of my friends just message me and check in and say, hey, yo, what's good? And I just had to say, I'm good. It's always good to check on the people that you love, because I feel if you don't, then that's when the disconnect can come in life and things can get very hard. One thing I learned as well is that life will humble you. When you're 17, 18, and it's all just about kind of fun and games, and you go to high school and you have like your first high school boyfriend or girlfriend, and you're just kind of living life day by day, you go to sleep with no big problems in your head. You're young, so your parents can be pretty young at this time too, and your parents are definitely not going to come at you with their problems, whether if they're having relationship problems, financial problems, emotional problems, any kind of problems. Your parents are more than likely not going to come at you with it, because you're still young and they want you to have a very positive view in the world. And I feel like that could be the problem sometimes, that we're all kind of given a false reality of life, because I feel like up until you turn 21 and 20, and that's when you'll go to college, or if you don't go to college, some people will decide to go to the military or go to the workforce very young, and then you kind of get exposed to the real world, because then alcohol kicks in when you're 21, and then you actually have friends with like real serious life problems. Like, for instance, they have a baby young, or they have like a parent that passed away. Like, look, even myself, I lost my dad last year, and that was one of the scariest and the hardest things I had to go through. And make it worse, I lost my grandmother and my dad, and that's like mom and dad to me. I lost both of them at a very young age. I think losing people in your life that are very important to you, like before you hit 30s, could be the worst thing. And look, my mom is, in her, almost about to be in her 50s, and she's told me that her losing her mother, which is, my grandmother, that was her mom, is still the hardest thing for her to mentally cope with. It's like, she told me the other day, she was like, it's like I wake up and they're really just gone, and they were the biggest examples in my life. She said my dad and her mom, and now they're just gone. And what I learned is that sometimes in life, as hard as it is to get through the 5 stages of grief and get to the acceptance part, you have to learn to accept things in life, because the past will haunt you. Sitting there and believing that because something happened that there was going to be a better expectation is a very hard way to live in life, because in life, all you're going to do is play these scenarios in your head like, man, I should have done this like that, and I should have you know, instead of going this route, I should have took this route. Maybe that car accident wouldn't have happened and I wouldn't have totaled my car. Or, hey, I spent all this money on this item that now I don't care about. I should have spent, you know, an X amount of money instead. Like, having these regrets is the worst way to live, because I feel like that hinders you from what life is really about, and that's growth. In life, we're all supposed to make mistakes. Life was not set to be perfect. Nobody in this earth is living a perfect life. I don't care if you have a bazillion dollars. I don't care if you have $0. There's people that, and I've even met people like this before, where they would probably, and this would sound, you know, to somebody young especially, this would sound not real. There's people I've met in life that have a lot going on for them. They have money, they have a big family, everybody's safe, no one's sick, everything is going so good, and that would be in your eyes. But I'll talk to them and it's like they'll like be to me like straight up like they're living the worst life, and like they're just miserable and they hate everything and they're just not happy. And somebody would sit there and say, how is somebody that's got it so good not happy? But happiness in life is what your perspective is it's basically like, you know, beauty is within the eye of the beholder. Like, what you find to be perfect is your opinion, whether it's how successful you feel in life, whether there's people out there that I know too that like could do the most, like they could be a straight 8 student, they could have again the most amount of money, everything could be going so perfect in your eyes, in your version, in your head for their life, and they will tell me that they're doing everything wrong and everything is so wrong, and they'll just have like such a negative approach to certain things. And why I'm making this video is because I feel like in this life, especially in this generation of like, you know, 2025 with social media, I feel like everybody has this big expectation that they have to make money fast or that they have to be successful fast. But you have to learn that in life, we're all on the same clock, but we all are we're all on a different timeline. Some people in life are on a timeline where they're getting very successful very quickly and things are moving at a very fast rate for them. But sometimes you have to just trust the process. And I don't want to get too religious in this video. I don't know what some of, you know, these viewers' beliefs is in this video, so I don't want to get too personal with that. But whatever you believe in, good. I'm not a biased person with anything, whether if you believe in God, whether if you're an atheist, whatever you believe in. But what I was going to say here for the most part is that less of belief. You could be religious or not religious and still believe in faith, and I think believing in faith is the best route of life. Even with my experiences, I've talked to people that have, you know, made it to 90 years old, and one thing that I've noticed about myself is anytime I talk to people that were like 80s, like 85, 90s, I would always ask them for advice, because I would say, what's the better, like, who is the best person to get advice from? The person with the most experience. 85 years of living in this world. A lot of shit can go wrong before you can make it to that age. You can get sick. A car accident could happen. Anything can kind of just shift that. And again, like, even people don't make it, they'll kill themselves. Just like, not to get too sensitive on this topic, but just things can happen. And I'll always talk to these people and ask them like, hey, like, what is the best advice that you have on how to make it in life? Like, I asked them like, how did you, and I know that could sound kind of crazy, like, just to be like to somebody, hey, like, how are you, you know, 90 years old and how did you survive that long? Like, I know like some people could be like, dude, how can you even ask somebody that? That's just so like fucked up or personal. Like, they could be looking at it like you're just saying they're lucky. But no, I would genuinely ask them this because I just want to hear what they have to say. And it's crazy because I've asked maybe about 8 people that were that same age of like 85 to 90, and they all gave me the same answer. And the answer that they gave me is the only way that they made it was by no matter how much bad shit they went through. For instance, one of them even told me, you know, their daughter died in a car crash, and then their husband died years later after that, and just things was just going crazy. But they told me the one thing that they learned, and the reason why they were able to make it this far, is that they lived with no regret. They lived believing that they did the best that they very fucking could do every day, didn't give up, told themselves that even though shit might be bad in the moment, that things will get better in time. And a lot of them were religious, some of them weren't, but they told me that even the ones that weren't religious, they told me that they had faith, that they just believed that things would get better. And for anybody watching this, kind of going through a very hard time in their life, whether it's like they're losing friends, they're losing families, they lost their job, they didn't get accepted to the college they wanted to, they had to drop out of college to move back in home. I don't know, they could be 30 moving back in with their parents, just any circumstance. The best advice and the moral of this message here is to be as very positive as you can, and honestly, do believe in your head that even though shit might be hard now, things will definitely get better with time, and to just kind of keep the faith, because especially nowadays, give me a second. Damn, I really needed that kill. I'm gonna see if I can win this game for you guys. It's gonna be very hard. Dude, why didn't he die? Holy shit, I think we got the win. I think we got it. Alright, we got it. But yeah, see, even that's a good example right there. I was about to lose that game. I had faith I was gonna win, and sometimes you just gotta trust the process. So the best advice I have for everybody is just keep the faith, guys. I know things can get really hard, and I'm sorry if this video seemed like it's rambling. This is like my first real YouTube video where I'm posting myself talking. And I added the gameplay so that y'all would at least get to enjoy that. But I just wanted to let everybody know. I hope y'all have a wonderful Friday. And please keep the faith. Just always tell yourself that things in life will get better. And no matter how hard it gets, never give up. And I love all you guys. Hope y'all have a beautiful weekend. Bye-bye. And before I go, because I know everybody just asked, I'll show y'all the stats of this gameplay. And this was a ranked lobby, by the way. I didn't want to play a norms. And there we go. Hope y'all enjoyed.